When I imagine my future classroom, I think about how I am going to strive to make it an inviting environment. My students will sit in groups or a U formation or maybe even rows depending on the grade, energy level, and class makeup. I also want a space for students to gather on the floor too. The environment I envision has a reading corner, shelves and shelves of materials and resources, a workspace just for me, and a theme that encompasses the entire room. There will also need to be an area in the back for conferencing and small group instruction. Building a classroom community is also something that is very important to me. Bringing the students together so that they can grow together and respect each other in their learning is something that I plan to do. We will brainstorm together what makes a good classroom community. That way they can each contribute and we can begin to create a family. Students will also engage in the community by having jobs. Also, we will create the rules together. We will keep the number of rules to a minimum by thinking of 6 or less really great ones that cover the general guidelines. Positive and negative behavior will be monitored in my class. We will use a clip chart, which they can be asked to move their clips up or down on throughout the day. Or we may even use Classroom Dojo to monitor behavior. I also hope to foster a love for reading early on in the school year. I plan to do this by having a wide selection of different leveled books, different genres, different themes and topics for students to read about and access easily. I will make sure each student has a book bin full of books that they are excited about and that are their level. There will also be many great, comfy, and cozy places in the room for students to curl up and read and get engaged in their text. I will also have special spaces for star readers that will be rotated throughout weeks. Students can also read with friends if that is more enjoyable to them than reading by themselves. For those that read by themselves, there will be tracking systems to make sure that they are engaged in what they are doing and excited about reaching a classroom goal, as well as their individual reading goals, which I will make sure to have varying awards for. Students will especially enjoy reading if they can access different strategies to use when they're stuck, or be looking for fun things like fancy words to pull out during their reading. It is important that in order for students to be engaged in their reading, they will need to be reading at their level, which I will be monitoring closely. I will figure out their reading level by doing a developmental reading assessment, which will be a one-on-one time with the student to figure out what strategies they can use, what words they know, and what level they should be reading at. Then, I could also do a running record periodically to see what kind of cueing systems they're using, what kind of text might interest them more, and once again evaluate their level. These assessments take time, but I believe that they give teachers great insight into which level students should be reading at, which is 95% accuracy. I will teach my students how to find good fit books by using the 5-finger rule so that what they are reading is not too easy or too hard, no matter where they are reading. I will organize my literacy block using a balanced literacy approach such as Daily 5. I like Daily 5 because it encompasses time for students to read to self, read to someone, work on writing, do word work, or listen to reading. Students will be given choices using Daily 5. They can check in each day with the choice they choose to work on. We will have class-wide guidelines for what working on each choice should look like. So when they set out to do word work activities, they know what it should look like. They know what to work on during writing. They will know what they should be gaining from listening to reading. And they will know what kinds of things can help them increase their stamina during read to self time. Not all literacy sessions will compose of the students working on Daily 5 the entire time. It'll be good to start with a whole class read aloud followed by a mini lesson to work on the various reading and writing strategies. During many of those mini lessons, we will work on CAFE, which stands for Comprehension, Accuracy, Fluency, and Expand Vocabulary, so that students know strategies for each when they set out to be successful readers on their own, and hopefully using those strategies can help them increase their stamina during Read to Self time. While the class is engaged on working on the various daily life components, reading to themselves, or doing centers, I will pull certain students to the back to have a conference with me where I will help them with their reading, give them some feedback, and strategies to work on. During conferences, I will strive to meet each student at their level at least once a week. This will be a way for me to differentiate and give attention to individuals. I will spend more time on the lowest percentile of students, meeting with them up to 2 to 4 times a week. During station rotations, I will also often go with the lowest group to help them with specific strategies that are meeting their needs. As I communicate with the student, I also hope to communicate with their parents by keeping an open cycle of communication through conferencing or whatever it may be to keep the child's needs in mind and work together to help them. This will also often include a weekly newsletter, notes home, or emails. The goal of this open communication will be to keep the parents plugged in to what their students are learning and to make sure they feel good about where their students are at school each day.